Yes, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, welcome back. Boy, it feels kind of rusty, man. We ain't done this for nearly a month and a half. Been busy. I do apologize to the massive. And again, if the month I do put something, please hit up the like button, hit up the subscribe button, share out the content, get it out there. We apologize. Welcome back to everyone. Links in the chat as well. But boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know if you guys can hear me, if the audio's working, if everything's working. And yeah, as you see what the title is saying, Sir Haji Mo Farah. He kind of rocked the world this week. He kind of, shocked a lot of people, put a good conversation up. I feel like the community needed to have, by the way. So yeah, let me know. Yes, my bro, my people, them. So yeah, we got a documentary. We're gonna watch the full documentary, and I wanted to bring up another thing. Let me just bring this up as well, and what this entails, and what is it, and I feel like obviously I managed to get the full documentary. So guys, what we're gonna be doing is, as you can see, it's in the back. We're gonna be streaming, talking, breaking it down, see what he's saying. But I've got another video that I wanted to play. I wanted to play the difference between smuggling and what can I say? Sorry, guys. I think that's how you know I've been rusty. I ain't been here for a little while. So, guys, again, if you guys want to join me, join the conversation. The link's in the chat as always. As always. And like I said, we ain't done this for a hot minute. So, the link is there to come in, press it, follow the instructions, and camera off, camera on. It's up to how you want to do that again. And again, it's very important if you guys smash out the like button and share for me. So yeah, this is what we're going to be planning. This is the plan of the schedule. We've got two videos that I wanted to look at. I want to look at the main documentary itself. I wanted to analyze what the brother is saying, what angles he's coming from, what's our perception as a community. Because a lot of people, I've seen a lot of TikTok videos. I've seen a lot of videos responding to Brother Mo Farah's claims. Some positive, some negative. But at the end of the day, I feel like everyone has a chance and everyone has subjective stories. And fun enough, I was having a conversation, I think on Clubhouse, on the Somali Speakers Clubhouse. If you guys follow that as well, if you're on that app as well, and then we were talking about something called borrowed children. But this subject has come up a lot, yeah, and I've been, yes, alaikum assalam, brother Abs. Yeah, so let me just pin the message. There you go. The link is there, it's pinned up. So yeah, borrowed children, my brother Abs. Assalamu alaikum wa salam. So yeah. So we called these guys borrowed children quite a while ago. It was called borrowed children, and a lot of people's their aunties, during the Civil War, a lot of families did get dispersed. One time when I said a lot of people, some of us like me were fortunate to come with your parents, and some people, you know what, Edidod Habriotod Bakente, and some experiences weren't as quite as pleasant with some brothers and sisters, but there has been an argument from the community per se. The community has brought up this argument of, did they really do this? Because I feel like there's always, what I say, there's always three sides to a story. There's the two versions and the truth. So I feel like sometimes the community, what we're trying to do here is analyze and ascertain what the truth is, and maybe give our own perspectives. Or maybe if we have brothers and sisters that AK, I don't know. Do you think it's a rude term if you call them borrowed children? That's what I'm saying. If we use the word borrowed children, is that a disrespectful, rude terminology? I don't know, you guys. Let me know in the chat section. If you ever got time, let me know if you watch this video back again. Because I think that's a way to refer to them. I don't know. It's not really good if I say refer to them, but it is a way of sort of, what can I say, brothers and sisters? I mean, maxaan kaloo bixinaa runta wanaagsan ummada Soomaaliya maxaan kaloo bixinaa ma walaalaheen waxaan oo kale. I don't know, man. I think the word trafficking is a bit. When he came up and he said the trafficking bit, because a lot of people really got sort of offended. But I'm always telling people, why are you getting offended? It's not your story. It's maybe his story and what they're saying. You get where I'm coming from? So again, I think I've rumbled on a bit too much. Let's have a little look at the video itself. And again, if this هذا ما تقرأ صوته, please فضلا إن بدن بينو ترى هذا like share كان وده في subscribe كانوا كوسيدو for down below. We're gonna be out here every Sunday. Don't hold me, but every Sunday we're gonna be trying to do a stream or maybe 2 streams a week. Because you know what, there's only 24 hours a day. I know I've been slacking. I have been slacking. I'm not gonna lie to you, but we're gonna try gradually get into it, and I really want to cover main stories that are about, because I think next Sunday we're going to be covering something interesting as well. So I'm gonna hopefully by Tuesday make up the stream and you'll put it for every Sunday. But I think this is a slot that kind of works for me, and I think it kind of works for you during the as soon as we get through the next couple of months where we can enjoy more streams, and let's just have the people have their own way and say what they gotta say. Say it with chest, no apologies, no none of that. But guys, let's get back into it and let's watch this video, the full documentary. Actually, guys, you know what I was thinking? Before we watch the documentary, I was thinking there's a video that I wanted to play. There's another video and explains the differences between trafficking and smuggling. So I don't know whether to call this. Is up to you guys. I don't know what term to use. Domestic slavery. For me, I don't know what to use in this term. But let's watch that video first and kind of breaks down where it might give us more context of what we're kind of discussing. So just bear with me, guys. Just give me a second.
Understood and confused terms: human trafficking and migrant smuggling. Now let's start by taking a look at a common occurrence along the US-Mexico border. Someone without a visa to enter the US joins a group that will attempt to cross the border undetected. They pay someone called a coyote to guide them along this irregular journey. Now this coyote, are they a trafficker, a smuggler, or both? These two terms are often used interchangeably when describing situations like this, but the truth is that they have clearly different definitions which the United Nations has established in international treaties. This video will clarify the difference between trafficking in persons, also called human trafficking, and migrant smuggling. From an international law standpoint, these terms have widely recognized definitions that do a pretty decent job of identifying cases of trafficking and smuggling. The issue, however, is that reporters and even lawmakers routinely misuse and confuse these words, which is obviously problematic when the public is paying attention to their articles and speeches. Furthermore, while trafficking is always carried out with the intent to exploit, the same is not automatically true about smuggling, so calling a smuggler a trafficker may wrongly label them as harmful to migrants. Now let's first talk about human trafficking. This definition can be found in the UN's Protocol to Prevent, Suppress, and Punish Trafficking in Persons. Be warned, it's a long one. To make sense of this chunk of the text, let's dive into 3 sections: act, means, and purpose. Think of act as what starts a trafficking situation. A trafficker must recruit, transport, transfer, harbor, or receive a trafficking victim. Notice how migration across a border is not necessary for human trafficking. Simply keeping a victim captive in their hometown is enough to qualify under the definition. Now let's look at the middle of this paragraph, which describes the means. You can think of this as a way that traffickers exercise power over their victims. This can be done through force or kidnapping, but more soft means are also used. These include deception and coercion, such as tricking victims into a trafficking situation by convincing them to consent or being trafficked by blackmailing them, for example. The third component is the purpose. This is the reason why traffickers recruit and harbor their victims. The blanket term here is exploitation, although it can take many forms. Among commonly detected forms of exploitation are forced prostitution and related sexual violations, forced labor or slavery, often in domestic settings like households, and even the removal of organs. The UN's Office of Drugs and Crime has created this visualization of the human trafficking definition. The most straightforward way to use this in determining whether a specific case counts as human trafficking is to see if at least one element of each column is present. That means for a situation to be classified as trafficking, there must be an act, means, and purpose. Let's look at an example that the UNODC would recognize as trafficking. Now, Maria lives in Brazil and is offered a job as a live-in domestic worker, meaning she would complete household chores for one family in exchange for a salary, room, and board. This household is also in Brazil, meaning she would not cross an international border before starting to work. So Maria takes a bus on her own to her new employer's house, but upon arrival, her money and ID are confiscated and she is forced to work without receiving a salary. Here, the traffickers received and harbored her even though they did not play a role in her transit. They deceived her by lying about her working conditions. And finally, they exploited her for free labor. Since there is an act, means, and purpose in this situation, Maria would be classified as a victim of human trafficking. Now let's keep this understanding of trafficking in mind when we look at the UN's definition of migrant smuggling. This can be found in the Protocol Against the Smuggling of Migrants by Land, Sea, and Air. Don't worry, it's more concise than the trafficking definition. Migrant smuggling occurs when a smuggler helps a migrant irregularly enter a country. The definition does have two key stipulations. First, the migrant cannot be a citizen or permanent resident of the country they are irregularly entering. Otherwise, it would simply be a case of entering without inspection. Secondly, the smuggler must assist the migrant with the intent of obtaining a cash payment or some equivalent benefit. The most glaring difference between trafficking and smuggling from a migration standpoint is that smuggling requires a border crossing, whereas this is not necessarily a component of trafficking. But of course, there is more. Now let's get into the nuances of smuggling a bit more. Now let's first focus on the payment smugglers receive. In many cases, migrants pay smugglers a fee before the journey starts, even though there is often no guarantee that they will arrive in their destination. We do know of reports, however, where smugglers take migrants' valuable possessions instead of cash when they can't afford the journey. This is sometimes taken by force. These fees, or the proportion that smugglers do not pocket themselves, are often used to pay for tools like fake travel documentation or paying bribes to officials or border guards, depending on the chosen route. To be clear, migrants consent to smuggling and are thus not considered victims in the same way as trafficked persons. This does not mean, however, that smuggled migrants are always safe. Smugglers may put migrants in dangerous situations, such as boat crossings or extreme desert environments. Additionally, we do know of reported instances where smugglers abandon migrants during the journey. Now, there can be blurry lines between trafficking and smuggling. Something that starts out as smuggling can turn into trafficking in some instances. But in general, these are the fundamental differences between trafficking and smuggling. Now let's look at a popular concern among those monitoring illicit activity, that human traffickers compose a significant part of the smuggling industry. The European University Institute's Migration Policy Center looked into this claim and found that it's actually not well founded. Traffickers and smugglers instead often operate independently of each other, although they usually are aware of each other's presence. The main reason why they don't collaborate is because traffickers are reluctant to operate along typical migrant smuggling paths. These routes are typically long, not to mention dangerous, and successful arrival in the destination is not a guarantee. Plus, smugglers tend to regulate their different routes to help evade detection. This limits the number and frequency of people who can move along the smuggling channels at a given point in time. So, going back to the US Mexico situation, how would you classify the coyotes who are operating along the border? Share your analysis and thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel.
Yeah, so guys, basically, I think that was a quick summary of smuggling and this, that, human trafficking. I'm trying to break it down. Are the two things the same? Do some people with the domestic, plus if you add the little domestic slavery bit into the context, of the conversation, it kind of alludes and brings out another aspect to it. Yeah, so my brothers and sisters, so I was thinking, yeah, let's break that down and let's have a look at the documentary itself, right? I think that's the best thing. I think let's have a look at it. Let's see what they're saying, and let's go. Let's go. My family, welcome back. Welcome back. Uncle Salam, Salam Sareh. Let's go. So here's the full documentary. We're gonna be breaking bits and parts of it down. So you guys, like I said, always leave your comments. Don't be shy. Leave your comments in the comment section after, before, or during the live comment section as well. So yeah, let me know. Let me know, guys.
Farah's coming down the straightaway. He's got to find something extra. He's got to kick on. Farah is going to make it 2 gold medals for Great Britain. The place erupts. He's a double Olympic champion.
I don't even know where to start, mate. I've had an amazing career.
Mo Farah, Olympic gold number 4.
I have achieved everything I ever dreamed of.
Britain's greatest ever athletics Olympian.
But there's something about me you don't know. It's a secret that I've been hiding since I was a child.
Because you came to the UK from Somali when you were 8?
8 years old, yeah. And to me, even to face it and talk about the facts, how it happened, why it happened, it's tough. The truth is, I'm not who you think I am. And now, whatever the cost, I need to tell my real story.
Hussein, dinner
Where
time.
are you, Hussein?
Come on, it's your favourite.
Come on, stand for dinner. Family means everything to me. And, you know, as a parent, you always teach your kids to be honest. But I feel like I've always had that private thing where I can never be me or tell what's really happened. I've been keeping this for so long. It's been difficult because you don't want to face it. And often my kids ask questions. Dad, how comes this? And you always got an answer for everything. But you haven't got an answer for that. That's the main reason I'm telling my story, because I want to feel normal. Don't feel like you're holding on to something.
I first met Mo in school. He was always smiling. That's what stood out about Mo, is amongst the groups of grumpy teenagers, Mo was always happy-go-lucky. We were engaged by 2009. And it was during that period of time, sort of the year leading up to us being married, that I felt like there was lots of missing pieces to his story. Behind the smile, there was something there. And that's when I started to ask questions. So this is the autobiography of Mo's life. The story in here, which is the story I always knew of Mo growing up, was that he was born in Mogadishu, Somalia, and at the age of about 8 or 9, he came to the UK with his mum and 2 of his brothers to live with his father.
That was the story that you believed to be true?
Yeah, until I found out otherwise. I didn't know much about his parents at the time and had never seen them or heard him talk about them. It wasn't until I think I'd worn him down, really, with all the questioning, that he eventually just said, look, that's not how it happened.
It was hard for me to tell her because I never really talk about it. It's more back of my mind, and it's been for years.
He just sort of matter-of-factly told me, this is really what happened. And I was gobsmacked.
Most people know me as Mo Farah, but it's not my name, or it's not the reality. The real story is I was born in Somaliland, north of Somalia, as Hussein Abdi Kahin. Despite what I've said in the past, my parents never lived in the UK. When I was 4, my dad was killed in a civil war. You know, as a family, we were torn apart. I was separated from my mother, and I was brought into the UK illegally under the name of another child called Mohammed Farah.
This is the visa document.
Yeah, this is the visa to come to the UK, and this was the document we came with.
You would have been 9, you hadn't turned 10 yet.
Yeah, that is my photo, but it's not my name. From that moment, coming in, it was a different name and different identity. I know I've taken someone else's place, and I do wonder, what is Mohammed doing now? And in the picture here is the lady who brought me into the UK.
So this woman wasn't your mother?
No, on paper it's my mum, but it's not really my mum.
I don't think we ever really have gotten to the bottom of why she brought you here. That, to me, is the $64,000 question.
For me, for years, just keep blocking it out. And you can only block it out for so much. Now, I'm just piecing everything together, taking myself back to that moment in Africa. I was 9 years old. I thought I was going out to Europe to live with relatives. I remember getting on a plane with this lady. She's got 2 kids. I'm excited because I've never been on a plane before. So we got off the plane with the woman and her kids. Go around, looking around, just amazed. We go through passport check, and the lady going, yeah, don't forget Mohammed. I was like, yeah, Mohammed. Because that was on the document. Stamped. Go through. On the other side, she says to me, don't say anything. Don't talk. This is your name. That's it. We see this man standing, just looking around. In Somalia, I can understand clear. Where's Mohammed? Where is he? He was her husband, and their family name was Farah. He was waiting for them and his oldest son, Mohammed. That's when I realized I had taken Mohammed's place. She talks to him. Don't know what she said to him. But at that point, we get in the car. I had all the contact details from my relative. And once we got to the house, took it off me and right in front of me, ripped them up and put it in the bin. And at that moment, I knew I was in trouble. I've been scared to go back to my old house for many, many years. I've never taken that route. I often drive past it on the motorway where you can see on the other side and you go, oh, I used to live in that flat. Not great memories. So this is the road here. So number 5 would have been just there in the middle. So that's the living room. And I'll spend hours and hours in that room. When the man was around, I was treated very differently. But he was never there or working or something. Often we wouldn't see him for weeks. But from day one, the lady, what she did wasn't right. I wasn't treated as part of the family. I was always that kid who did everything. I don't know, more someone like who works for you, who's just, that's your space, that's our space, this is what you do. If I wanted food in my mouth, my job was to look after those kids, shower them, cook for them, clean for them. And she said, if you ever want to see your family again, don't say anything. If you say anything, they will take you away. Often I would just lock myself in the bathroom and cry, and nobody's there to help. So after a while, I just learn not to have that emotion. And I remember just putting up with everything that she ever said. The anger and just the screaming. I told myself one day I will see my real family. That's what was going through my mind, and kept telling myself day and day again, I will see them one day.
Yes, guys. Yes, guys. Salam alaikum. Yeah, there's a bit there I just wanted to pause. I wanted to break down that little first bit. Obviously, this video, I think it's about an hour long. So we're going to keep breaking it up, keep thinking. But there was, there's one or two things, look, I'm never ever one to mock someone's story or, how they tell it, because, it is his story. This is his history and he's telling us. But I don't know. I think like there's some things that just really don't add up. I don't know if the audience, you guys think is true. Like I said, always leave the comments in the chat if you want to have your say as well. The links over here all day long in the chat's highlighted in blue. It's pinned up, but certain things are not making sense to me in there. Like, you know what? Is he speaking at adult? Is he speaking? Obviously, I can sense there's pain and frustration where he wants to get out of the story. And again, like I always say, kudos to you, brother, because you kind of highlight something, especially in amongst our community. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes, is it because I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt? Is it because I don't know, my income is certain by locally? I don't know. That's the bit where I'm stuck. Alaikum assalam, family tree. Welcome. But yeah, that's the bits for me. Like, there's one or two grey areas, sticking areas that I don't know. Something doesn't sit right. But again, like, we're gonna carry on watching it, and yeah, but I don't know. But let's carry on. Let's see more. Let's see more of the video.
I wanted to go to school. She was like, no, you can't. It's not time yet. You can't leave the house. I want to go. No, you can't. Eventually, she let me go and end up going Feltham Community College, it was called. That was year 7. Oh,
We both went to Feltham School.
God.
Feltham was predominantly white. I would say it was a very small minority of us that were either non-white or mixed.
Going to school was always difficult for me. My English wasn't great. It's such a big shock in terms of having different culture. often you don't even know, what should I say? What do I need to say? How should I behave? So I did struggle.
When Mo came to the school, we had very confused messages about his past. We were having meeting after meeting, trying to discover and work out exactly what his background was.
Mohammed is a refugee from Somalia who arrived in this country in November 93. The school report that Mohammed is experiencing difficulties in all areas of the curriculum. Mohammed is disruptive in most lessons and can become involved in fights in the classroom. And this is the Hausa language service. Parents, country of origin, Somalia. Mohammed lives with his mother, who is not an English speaker. Parents separated. Father living nearby. No phone at home.
As time went on, we had incredible behaviour difficulties with Mo across the school, and we needed to speak to somebody. Mo's family never turned up. He was coming into school, he was unkempt, he was uncared for, and we were more and more worried that the family wasn't as it should be, and in fact Mo was not being supported in the right way when he was at home.
Parents not attending meetings with head of year, emotionally and culturally alienated. There is a feeling of frustration and isolation about him. I feel sad when I'm with him.
If I asked Mo to explain to me what was going on or where his parents were, why hadn't they come in, he would say that they were busy. He was very quick to change the subject. He would also pretend not to understand. It was very difficult to get a coherent answer from him about anything that was going on in the home.
Often I never talk about anything because I couldn't. I was scared what will happen later on.
So she told you don't talk about anything?
Anything. Otherwise I was in big trouble. And I guess for me, only things that I could do in my control to run away from this was get out and run.
When I first met Mo, he had very, very little English, and the only language he really seemed to understand was the language of PE and sport. Mo was a particularly good sportsman, that was obvious. We put him in a race and he won it. We put him in another race and he won it, and every race we put him in, he pretty much always won, and then started winning them by a long distance, so that wasn't difficult to spot. The fact that he was doing so well in his sport, I would talk to teachers about that. I would talk to his former teacher, Sarah Rennie, and to other people that could really support him. He's not just the boy that you see that's getting involved in fights. He's not just the boy that you see in your lesson that doesn't appear to be taking any notice. He's actually got quite a little bit more to him than that.
As a kid, you just know who's good and not. It's your instinct. And I just feel like that trust, because often I think I saw him as well as a PE teacher, as someone who's really generally does care. He was inviting me to go to the running club, join the athletics club, and encouraging me, and me making up all these excuses saying, I can't do it. I couldn't do it for a reason, but I couldn't stay. I had to go back home straight. It got to a point where it was like I needed to tell somebody what I was going through. I needed help.
Mo came to see me with another student from Somalia who spoke very good English, and they came into the changing room.
We just finished PE. I think once we finished the game, the changing room cleared up.
They were being quite serious, normally very, very jolly.
I was scared, but I couldn't go back there. And I couldn't go on with this anymore. And that's the point. I told him everything.
Mo told me he wasn't the son of the person that he was living with.
Yes, salam alaikum, Sams. Hello. Hello. Who the hell was that? Damn. But listen, let's carry on.
that he'd been brought over to do all the jobs, look after the smaller children. He also then explained that actually his name wasn't Mohammed Farah. He was removed from his family, that he was given a new identity and brought over here to do jobs and chores. That was obviously quite a shocking revelation to hear.
I just had to do something. I don't know. I just had to get out. Whatever way I could get out, I had to get out.
The next day, I took what he had said to the senior leadership at the school. I think Mo thought that a magic wand would be waved, and he turned up at school basically with all of his belongings, expecting that he was going to be moved. So I had to explain to him that that wasn't the case. The next step would be that social services would be contacted.
Well, I told the social workers, my name is not Mo, my name is Hussein. I have family somewhere, but I don't have any contact. And I didn't know whether they were alive or not. That was the hardest thing. But to be honest, I was not concerned about name or anything. I was more concerned about my own safety and me being free. And I remember going, okay, just take me somewhere. Take me somewhere.
Somebody else in the Somalian community who had a child at the school offered to take Mo in, and that offer was waved through by social services.
It was my friend's mum, Kinsey. She really took care of me, and I was happy there. And then I stayed for a couple of days, weeks, months, ended up staying 7 years. I still miss my real family, but from that moment, everything got better. I felt like a lot of stuff was lifted over my shoulders, and I felt like me, and that's when Mo came out, the real Mo, just being free.
From that point on, he was Mohammed Farah. Nobody addressed what he had said in terms of his identity, and Mo just became Mo. It was just a remarkable transformation. We had good runners before, we'd had good athletes before, but the progress from there was just stratospheric.
And what's your name?
Mohammed Farah.
Mohammed Farah. What's your ambitions? Olympics?
Yeah.
Imagine it.
He started to win national races by 30 seconds to a minute, and
Come on, Mohammed!
you could see that it was effortless.
Mo definitely stood out as a rising star.
That's the winner of the 3,000 metres, Mohammed Farah.
He was winning every race that he took part in, whether it was at school for the borough or at the English schools. He would always make winning look easy.
At the age of 14, Mo was selected to compete for English schools in Latvia. And it wasn't really very clear what Mo's immigration status was. You know, he didn't have the documentation that he would need to travel. So we started that process of getting him the British citizenship as Mohammed Farah.
There are a range of comprehensive measures that look at border force, more powers as well, to deter illegal entry to the United Kingdom.
I remember being excited to represent your country and not being able to compete was hard, because it felt like, you know, you got to that position and now, you know, you can't do it because you don't have paperwork. Now I've decided to, you know, come forward and to tell the truth. I need to understand how I got my citizenship, and Alan kept lots of documents.
This is the box, Mo. There was loads of stuff in here. Wow. There's loads of papers about your citizenship. We just bombarded them with communication about this. Getting Mo to the point where, you know, he had his British citizenship was quite a long process. It involved a couple of trips to the Home Office, lots of letters and form filling. I'm writing to you concerning a pupil we have at school. His name is Mohammed Farah, and he's an asylum seeker from Somalia. We'd very much like him to obtain his British citizenship so that he can run in the World Athletics Championships and represent Great Britain.
I wouldn't even read any of this. I didn't know how much process went in. I just remember at that moment, I want to compete, and I just didn't think.
There was a lot going on in the background. It was 3 or 4 years after he had made the disclosure to me that his identity wasn't Mohammed Farah. And by that point, nobody was thinking back to the time he'd come over with a different identity. You know, he was Mo. So on the 25th of July in 2000, you got that letter, which says, "We're pleased to enclose a certificate of registration as a British citizen." That's the document that showed that you are Mohammed Farah and known as Mohammed Farah in this country.
Yeah, 25th of July 2000, that was the date. But honestly, for me, it's been years of just back of your mind. And I think taking this step, the last thing I want to do in terms of being honest is cause a problem for you. I don't even know what's going to happen.
No, I mean, you told me the school knew about it, everybody knew about it. But when you went through the process of social services, you stayed as Mohammed Farah. To my mind, at that point, the state had recognised you as Mohammed Farah. It's only recently, really, that I've thought about it and questioned whether actually I did anything wrong in this scenario. But when I think back, I don't think either I or the school did do anything wrong. You were Mohammed Farah.
I always wonder, how did I get to that position, or how did this happen? I guess I wasn't meant to be here. How did I end up being here?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that just strikes me is the year before you came to school, I taught another boy called Mohammed Farah.
No, you didn't.
There's another boy called Mohammed Farah at the school, and he was there for about a couple of months at most, and he just disappeared.
Gone.
Nobody knew what had happened to him or where he went. But you know, thinking back now and thinking about your story, was there any connection at all between that, Mohammed Farah, and your circumstances?
Oh, now it got me thinking and going, where's that boy? What is he doing? Has he got families, he's got kids, is he alive? What is he doing? I often think about the other Mohammed Farah, the boy whose place I took on that plane, and I really hope he's okay. Wherever he is, I carry his name, and that could cause problems now for me and my family. The important thing is for me to just be able to look, this is what's happened, and just being honest, really.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Tanya?
Yes.
I'm Alan Braddock. Mo?
Hi, Mo.
Hi,
Hello.
nice to meet you.
You too.
Right, grab a seat. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming in today. So obviously we want to take you both through the advice.
And it's just in relation to the risk, to your British nationality status. So you're entirely clear on what it means to publicly reveal how you acquired your British nationality.
From what we have seen, the application for your nationality, when it was made, there were false representations made in that application, which means essentially that your nationality was obtained by fraud or misrepresentations. There is a power in law, therefore, to take away your British nationality.
Okay.
Well, but when I first went to the social workers, did it not trigger anything, or did something not come up at all?
Unfortunately, nothing was passed to any relevant authorities that would have decided your immigration application. So it was completely not known to the Home Office.
That's where the danger of them taking away your citizenship comes from.
Surely there would have still been a protocol back then for a child who has been taken unwillingly from one country to another.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, the definition of trafficking is transportation for exploitative purposes. In your case, you were obliged as a very small child yourself to look after children and to basically be a domestic servant. And then you told the relevant authorities, this is not my name. All of those things combine to make the risk that the Home Office would take away your nationality is lessened. But we don't have a crystal ball, so we want to be absolutely clear that although we think it's a small risk, there is a real risk that that is what will happen.
Will this have any impact on my kids and my wife? my family, I guess.
It won't have any impact legally for Tanya or your kids. Obviously, it will if they deprive you of your nationality, then sure, as a family, that will affect you. But legally, from their position, no, it will not affect them at all.
It's scary that there would be some risk to most citizenship. There's no hiding it. It's a scary thought. I think we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, man. Big up my sister WM. She used to famously say there's something ain't clean in the milk. And if you guys go back here, hopefully, we played the video at the beginning, 8-minute video about trafficking, smuggling, the difference. But they use the sort of American sort of system. I know Somali, but yeah. Because there is conflicting stories. You get me, my sister WM, to WM and everyone else and anyone else that's watching. There is a lot of shekoin kala doon sa baxday. Oo kala ninkani malaha how can we say he's fabricating. I'm not sure. I don't want to say it, but these are just rumors and stories out there. So sometimes it's always good to look at everything well. And I think someone put in the chat earlier, I think it's this double brother said something about blackmailing. So he had to come out first with it. And I don't know, looking at that, my sister and my brothers, I think like I don't know if I see a lot of acting, they double, I don't know. Because some people are saying some of the stories are a bit that we've spoken to maybe, but you know, some people make up their own sort of whatever. So we're just looking at it from all angles. We're just keeping an open mind. Do you get what I'm from? Let me see what he said. Okay. Yeah, I know that. But WM, there's a question of Mashakal and Madabba. Because obviously it was family, yeah. And there's a bit of, like I said, the other comment, and I've been talking to numerous people, links, and discussing. So I thought, let's watch the documentary, let's break it down, let's have our say on this channel, and anyone can leave comments in the comment section, the live chat as well. So again, you could join us as well. The link is on the panel. So if you guys want to have actually make it into a dialogue, we can. The link's always here. It's pinned up as well. But for me, it's very nuanced, this conversation. Because I've been having this conversation with a couple of people. I call these people borrowed children, like in more like, some people business, but the human trafficking bit and the domestic slave bit. Do you think I don't know? I don't know, but let's carry on. Let's carry on watching it. What did brother here say? Or sister? I don't even know. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that bit. Kinsey. Khair, you know what? Yeah, the way he spoke about that woman as well, I look like when they say that's when he became more Farah, then became accepted because I read a book actually. But what do you think, brother or sister? I don't know if you're 1, 2, 3 ABC. I don't know if you're a guy or a girl in it yet, but my question is, do you think and I wanted to throw it out there, like maybe Anthony Tolnimo Heiko Arteinico Kana Hade Edahan, and then she brought him in because he said I was there for 7 years. It's like the brother, so yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I haven't watched. This is the first time I'm watching a documentary as well. So do you guys think as well as like? Do you think they should have put her in the documentary? They should have added her bit into it. Yeah, and I'm getting some emails as well, some back chats as well. Someone's bringing me some information. Yeah, it's another story here. I will bring up on my WhatsApps later on. But Kinsey said, "Yep, yeah, all right, cool. She saved him. Yeah, so." I don't know. Let's look into it. We've got a little snippet of someone sent me an article in the back chats as well. So we're gonna look at that one as well. But let's carry on. Let's we keep it moving. Let's go.
Just see what happens. Hello, Amani. How was school?
Good.
Did you have Amani? You all right? Was it good school? Good? Yeah. It is scary, the thought that I'm putting everything at risk. But I need to do this. And someone who could help is the woman who took me in, Kinsey. Kinsey is related to the family who brought me into the UK. So she may know the truth about how and why I ended up here. But I've lost contact with her. And then there's my real family back in Somaliland, who were there from the start. I've got some good memories at Somaliland. You know, for us, we lived in the farm with my father. My father's name was Abdi. It was very basic, just farm. All I remember clearly is just being with my loved ones. My mom and dad, my brothers, sisters, my twin brother, Hassan, and being their family. When I was 4, I was a kid, but we were just out in the farm, normal day. My dad went to look after cattle, and never came back. And due to civil war happening between the north and the south, there were a lot of people fighting where he was, and there was a massive bazooka shot. Hit the ground, flew into pieces, and one piece hit him on the head and just straight off the head, yeah. And at that point, that was it. And that our life changed. And changed all of us. To me, the hardest thing is, till this day, is like, I don't even know what he looked like. This was in my room at uni. I would just take as many pictures as I could and then get it developed, and then just all around my room, just put pictures of different memories.
You're almost obsessive with taking pictures and then keeping them. And you said to me, because growing up, you never had a picture of your dad?
Yeah. Well, growing up as a kid, I did have memories, but I never had any pictures of anyone I was really close with.
I think Mo himself hadn't really accepted what had happened to him growing up, the death, the murder even, of your father, and the circumstances of your family being torn apart and you being sent across the world. But he just wasn't ready, and he was able instead to just channel all of that pent-up emotion into his running.
It's early 2000, and at this point I'm running for Great Britain. I'm doing okay, and I think there was a lot of media out there in terms of there's a young Somali kid, grew up in the UK, he's doing well.
I hope a very happy Mohammed Farah winning a silver medal at the European Junior Cross Country Championships.
I think that's when people in Somaliland kind of noticed I was in the UK.
Can I just say how to all my mates at the uni and see you later. Okay. All right. See you.
Yeah. I was living with Kinsey, and I was just helping out in a restaurant, Somali restaurant, where all the Somali people come, chat, and there was a lady who lived in the UK. And the lady often saw me there a lot. And this lady comes in, she's like, oh yeah, I was in Somaliland. I was like, Somaliland? And she's like, what's your name? Mohammed. Okay. What's your real name? And at that point, I think I can kind of talk about it. And she's like, Hussein. What's your mom's name? Told her mom's name. She goes, okay. Well, I saw your mom. I was like, saw my mom? She's alive. And she's like, yeah, she's alive. Here's the photo. So if you don't believe me, if you think I'm a stranger, here's the photo. And then she said, look, this is a cassette tape for you. I remember just wanted so badly to get out the restaurant and go to listen to it. It wasn't just a tape. It was more of a voice. And then it was singing certain songs for me, like poems or like traditional songs, you know. And I would listen to it for days, weeks.
indhaha nuurkoogiyo waqligayga gobolkiyo sukuuniyadii naftow siidhkayga beermayow tagoogii cabdikaa'inkii ka taraqiyow indhaha nuurkoogiyo waqligayga gobolkiyo xuseen ku habaari maayo hantaaqlaaw.
My mum's name is Aisha. I'll never forget my mum on that tape.
Laba isdhashay ma kala hadho xabaal mooyaane. Kolba halkay joogaan unba iska warqaadaane. Waan ogaaday inuu ku nool yahay Ingiriiska.
So the tape had a number on it, like say, or call on the back of it. This is the number. And then I remember he said, if this is a bother or causing you trouble, don't, just leave it. You don't have to contact me. And I'm going, no, of course I'm going to contact you. And at that point, that's when I first called my mum.
10 sano maxaa ku qabanaya dhowr iyo 10 sano isagaaba malaha aanan waxba ka haynin kolkii aan maqlay muraayadiisa ay hor joogteen saa u hayay ayaan inaan jabiyaba doonay inaan jabiyo dhex garaba ayaan doonay farxad darteed awgeed.
I just remember going, Mum, yeah, she's like, yeah, you do.
farxadii baan ku iloobay farxadii kolkii aan helo ila hadlay uun baaban iskaba ilooboon fududaaday wax walba waan ku fudud.
How's Hassan? He's doing good. And I remember that moment was just to know that your mum's okay and she's alive. And they're all okay. For me, it was like, everyone's okay.
magaala midna ma kala garanay kolkaan helay uun baa on side.
All I wanted to do is to go and see my family out in Somaliland. I saved up enough money. I had quite a lot of hair, shaved my hair because I was scared I'll stand out. And then going my first trip, I'm going to go and see my brother and my mum. The plane took forever. France, Djibouti, Somaliland, Hargeisa. As I was coming out the plane, I could see my twin brother, Hassan, and just see them alive. At that point, my brother's hugging me, my brother. I had tears in my eyes. It's been 20 years since that first visit home, and my twin Hassan has picked me up from the airport again. I've come back to Somaliland to try and get some answers, and to show my son Hussein where I grew up before I had to leave my family. You see that boy just looking after like cows. My dad was doing exactly the same thing as that when he got killed. And that was the start. We all had to be separated. If it wasn't for that moment, I don't know what life would have been. Would I have become who I am? Would I have gone through what I've gone through in life? Only one person that can tell me on why and how is my mum. We're gonna go see grandma.
Yay!
We're here at the farm.
They're waving me.
Hey, it felt amazing. That's my real mom. They are my real brothers. And I think as a kid growing up here, I was just me. And that was my name, that was my twin brother, that's my mom. This is the village. This is the people. This is where I'm from. After my dad was killed during the Civil War, me and Hassan was sent away from the farm to live with relatives across the border in Djibouti. I'm hoping my mom and Hassan and my older brother Faisal can help me understand why I was taken to the UK. Who are you? Tell me حاسس لكن ما كي يقهريس أنا إيمان
aan isla xidhiidhnay
haa
mooy weliga allaha ma u malaynaysa inaad arkaysid marna
may weligaa alla waad arki oo isagaad arki wuxuu dhalay daayo oo isagaad arki oo nool habeenna ma odhan kolkaan dee meel magaalihii hana jirin meel xoolihii hana jirin uu dhulku baaba noqday bal anagu inaan dhibanaynaan moodayni qaqabtadun lanahaye maad baan kuu geeyey dagaalka aan kugu diray adeerkaayoo jabuuti joogay iyaan maqaaxidiisa inuu ka daba yar noo wax aan doonay xasan jabuuti muunoo iman dee wuu yimid
hooyo mar yaa talada qaatay inaan anig jabuuti ka tago aan tago ingiriiska
cidi iima sheegin haa ubadka waa ina dhoofaysa dee dhulku hooyo dee ma magaaluu lahaa ma telefoon buu lahaa ma mobil buu lahaa sow baaba maanaan ahayn haye baaba buu dhulku ahaa eeg adigana adeero kana waan kaa daba geeye
wasraacasiin ood noo dhoofisaa wasraacasiin yariguli deetana waayahay baa yariguli waayahay dii habeennimadii hore lay seexiyey markii hore lay seexiyeen habeennimadii waa layga dulquuray tareenkaa lagu saaray aqalkan koodi jirnay deetana markaasaan aroortii soo kacay adigoo aan joogino tudhoofeleeri sooti xaleen waan raacayaa ani maxaa lay raacin waayo sidii baad ku baxday habeennima lagu dhoofiyey
maqnaashahaase waan ogaaday inaad meelaad joogto dee kama warhay ma aqoonsanay
wax waraan qofku sheegane
sheegayna ma jirin cidnaba
magaca mow farax qof kalaaska lahaa ma ka war maqashay ma garanaysaa
ma qofka kale lahaa maxaan anumaan kula joogay mise waxbaan garanayaa anugu kaygiun baan kuugu yeedhaay anigu alaan imika kolkaan ku imaadiyo kol walba kaygiun baan anigu kuugu yeedhaay xuseen baan kuugu waqlalay kuugu magac bixiyey xuseen cabdi kale maaha aabte
waxaan noloshan ka sheekeynayaa laga yaaba inuu wax weyniisoo hooyee maxaa malaynaysin
dee farxad weyn bay tahay oo inay wax qabad wax alla si kaluu yidhaahaba
magacana ku dhalan adoon ingiriisna arag adoon waddankii joogin waayo horta waxaad ka sheegtaa qofku waxa fiican taariikhdiisa runta inuu sheego
beentu xaraaga When I told them there will be a risk me doing this, they kind of understood, and it says it's the truth. It is what it is. You are who you are. There's no denying that. It was very important for me and my son to see my dad's grave and pray for him. My father named me Hussein, and I know over the years my name's changed, but my father never knew anything. That's the name he and my mom decided, and it was important to me to carry on the name. So my son, I named him Hussein. Before I leave Africa, there's one more place I want to show Hussein. This street in Djibouti is where I was sent after my father's death. It's from here that I was taken to the UK. All right, let's go. I'll show you. This is where I used to live, Hussein. This is the house. Assalamu alaikum. It's the first time I've been back to this house since I was 9 years old. And the people who live here say that my relatives left a long time ago. This gentleman now owns it for you. Oh, yeah, his aunt used to own the house. At the time when we were living here, which I didn't know, I thought we owned it, but we didn't. We were renting it off his family. Wow. I guess I was so young at the time, it's difficult in my mind to know exactly what's happened really. But being in this house, I do remember some things very clear. The idea came for me to go out to Europe and live with my relatives. I never questioned it. I was like, yeah, excited. And that's when it all began. Remember, this lady turns up my house. Don't know who she is, but obviously the family knew her somehow. Remember her coming to the house a few times, kind of looking at me, what I do, what I look like. And then later on, my family going, yeah, you're going to go with this lady. She's got 2 kids. You're going to go to Europe. But when you go there, your name is Mohammed. And I remember going, what? Is my real name going to change? As a kid, you never even think beyond what you've been told. Never thought in a minute, you're going to go with a stranger and be stuck there. And the hardest thing is admitting to myself that someone from my own family may have been involved in trafficking me. I think that thought has been at the back of my mind for a long, long time. But I've never really spoken about any of this till now. Okay, how are you? You okay?
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. When I was 9 years old, brought to the UK, the completely different name, not the name was given to me by my parents, kept in the house, taking care of other kids as well.
That could potentially fit a type of trafficking called domestic servitude. And domestic servitude is a type of forced labour, but it's forced labour in someone's home. And it's really, really tricky to identify it because it happens behind closed doors.
What's the long-term effect on this? Do you ever get over it? Or will it always just be there?
Wow, that's a big question. But I think the very fact that you're starting to think about these things 20, 30 years after they've happened shows that it's a long and complicated journey. And sometimes with potential victims, they feel guilty as well because they feel like they were part of it. Well, I said yes to traveling, or I said yes to the job, and so there are lots of their kind of process dealing with the fact that actually they were taken advantage of and it wasn't their fault at all.
I don't know, part of me is like, I didn't know any better, and you're just a child, you go on the other side, you get excited, and I remember being very, very excited and couldn't wait, couldn't sleep. Then you go, and then 3 or 4 months later, you rock bottom. I know I'm almost 40, but it's been so long in my mind, and it's scary to go public with this.
I think it is incredibly brave because I think we do live in a hostile environment where the issues of trafficking and smuggling and illegal immigration all kind of get conflated. Last year in the UK, over 10,000 potential victims of trafficking were identified. And that's the tip of the iceberg. The real numbers might be up to 100,000 potential victims. So for you to come forward will hopefully challenge people's perceptions of what slavery and trafficking is and who it might happen to.
Yeah. I had no idea there was so...
Yeah, guys, that's it. I don't know, there's still a bit left, but I thought, let me pause it at that bit, yeah? Someone said, bullshit, yeah, he's a sellout. Asked the guy why, he goes, you know why. Yeah, this is what we're trying to ascertain. Why. Because there's a bit in that video where I thought to myself, it's the domestic bit. It's the bit where, how, and again, look, I'm trying to open up the conversation. I'm not accusing Walalke Muhammad or should we say Hussein of fabricating his story. Maybe this did happen to him, but maybe it was a chance where, Red Kisa, look, at the end of the day, and I'm trying to think of how much is it fabricated? How much is it? Because these statements are where he's getting blackmailed. I don't know, God knows if he's getting blackmailed. Do you think one of these days someone might bring this up and it might come to highlight. So let me attack the situation before it occurs. Or is this really the life of borrowed children? Because sometimes, you know, like I say, some of us were fortunate to come to these countries with our parents, so we might not know the struggle some of these brothers and sisters do go through. Sometimes we do have to be empathetic and realize. Did he say he was trafficked by who he came as a refugee? Look, this is the thing. We don't know whether he came as a refugee, trafficking. But for me, I think the bit that hurt him the most was, I think, the domestic slavery bit. And that story is kind of rampant. There are brothers and sisters that actually have been through. I've personally spoken to them myself. And some of the horrific stories that they do tell you is kind of amazing. It's like, whoa. Because there's a difference, you know, then you're doing the chores. That's a whole different thing. But when you're actually isolated by yourself out all the children, like think about it, put yourself in this scenario. You're the only in the family that's just there, and you're other child getting sent out. So we gotta bear that in mind. You have to do bear that in mind as well. So there's an aspect of a comment came up. Let me see this. Let me highlight this comment up here that's just come up. The reason of lying on remote TVs multiple times and doing. Okay, I hear that. And this is where a lot of brothers and this is where, you know, the community, there is an uproar because I've seen TikTok videos, I've seen numerous count of videos attacking this scenario. And I always say maybe it's because we are Somali, that we are a reactionary community. We were like, oh my God, Hamid, but sometimes you gotta bear in mind, brothers and sisters, you gotta really bear in mind that and I think, do you think it's the whole notion of Abtaqariya as a community? Like, a lot of people are like, for their had and people are going to be under scope. And I think that's where the outrage is. I think the outrage, because I think a lot of people, because you got to remember, that is the negative side to it, but there was a positive side. Like, how many people did we know in the early 90s, or, you know, what the Marsha Torongo Faisal Gillian, and think about Torongo Kof Kurial, this. Look, there's two ways. Like I always say, there's multiple layers of the story, and that's my perspective. That's my opinion. There's the pros and there's the cons. Let's be honest. So let's carry on with the other part of the video. So hopefully,
So many people who are going through exactly the same thing that I did. It just shows how lucky I was. So many moments in my life where it could have gone this way or that way. But what really saved me, what made me different, was that I could run.
So to the much anticipated men's 5,000 meter final.
2012 was such a huge year. I remember thinking, gosh, this is all or nothing. This is something he's dreamed about since he was a kid.
And there's Mo Farah. What sort of race will it be?
Being out on the running field is a way of, for me, having two separate lives, if that makes sense.
Mo Farah looks very comfortable. He's got the basic speed.
You have that moment where you just do what you do.
Mo Farah's looking to go, and with just 3 laps to go, it's now going to be a real race.
You know, the noise in the stadium was just remarkable. And I was sitting almost with my head in my hands, watching through my fingers.
The big kick has started, but Mo Farah gritting his teeth now.
Alan and I both knew what had gone into getting Mo to that point, what he'd been through as a kid, as a very young child.
The arms have got to pump, the knees have got to come up high. He's got to find something extra. It's going to be a cracking last 100 meters.
I was in bits, I was crying. I knew the story, and the story was just a crazy, ridiculous story that you couldn't make up.
He's got to kick hard. Come on, Mo Farah. Gabriel Maskell is coming, but I think he's going to get there. Farah is going to make it 2 gold medals for Great Britain. Beautiful. The place erupts. He's a double Olympic champion.
The enormity of it was just difficult to comprehend.
Wonderful, wonderful double.
After 2012, my life changed. Suddenly, I wasn't Mo. I was Mo, the boy who'd won 2 Olympic gold medals in front of his hometown. The press getting involved. Well, who is he? What does he do? Where's his family?
I was doorstepped by the Mirror and the Sun, who both came to me to find out where had this boy come from, what's his story.
And the hardest things for me, just not being honest.
Because you came to the UK from Somalia when you were 8?
8 years old, yeah. Just remember being excited and, you know, seeing my dad was a big part for me. It was just going there. And I was just excited to come off the plane, met him. And
You know, you're a role model, and it's a wonderful thing for the country.
In my mind, I don't think I was ever ready to say anything. Not because you want to lie, but because you're protecting yourself. I think you only realize later on down the line, it's okay to let things out and say how it happened.
So what do you think happened?
I never like to see anything bad or anything. Like, I always try and turn into a positive or have a positive spin on it and go, oh, no, that's not what it is. But in this, I think I was trafficked. That's what it feels like.
The question is, will we ever get the truth? I mean, we've got some information that gives us an idea, but someone that might be able to help give us some insight, who is connected to a lot of this, is Kinsey.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy speaking to Kinsey because I've not spoken to her for many, many years. But I think she will have a lot of answers if she's willing to talk to me.
It's definitely worth trying.
Yeah. Kinsey is my aunt. I call her my aunt. It's a respect. But really, she's not my aunt. She's the sister of the man who was waiting for me at the airport. And the sister-in-law of the lady who brought me to the UK. Time where things were really difficult for me. Kinsey is that one person took me under her wing and welcomed me to her house. I lost contact with Kinsey. Maybe there's part of me wanted not to know what went on or how it happened. I've been hiding this for over 20 years. But the other side of it, it's like, I want to know why was I brought to the UK in the name of another child, a boy called Mohammed Farah, and Kinsey is the aunt of the other Mohammed Farah. It's taken a long time to get back in contact with Kinsey. But today, finally, I'm meeting her and her family. And I hope she's got some answers.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. You okay?
See the pictures? Get ready.
Who's that boy there?
Oh my days.
Well, you don't mind going blonde again, do you?
If I had hair, I would.
We're so happy today to see you. Welcome to the family again.
Thank you. It's been difficult to understand why did I come to the UK and there's no one else but other than you who maybe can help.
My brother, he went to the Heathrow airport. He said he's going to collect his children and his wife, and you come back with my brother. And we're shocked. Then I said, who is this boy? Because I know my brother's son, how he look.
Yeah.
You don't look like him.
No.
Then the lady said, this boy, his family, they all died. The father, the mother, the sisters, the brothers, they all died. And everyone feels sorry for you, and we give you love, and we accept you how you are.
Yeah. Do you know why the lady brought me under a different name?
Not really. And when we ask her, who's this boy, she tell us, this boy, he don't have no one else.
Okay.
That's why I bring him here. That's it. Then I saw you always, happy. You crying. Then I try to find out what's going on with you. The lady, she always make you to do the housework, to have the kids, to give them the milk, to change the napkin, all these things.
Do you think that was her reason when she brought me to UK, helping out, cooking, cleaning?
I don't know. But what I know, she didn't bring you as a human being to help you, no. You call me, you say you in the front of the house with the social services.
Yeah.
Then they told me, do you know this boy? I said, yes. He said, this woman, she bought him in this country. She's not his mother. I say, yes, he's not. Then they ask me, you his aunt? I say, yes, I'm his aunt. You going to have him? I say, yes, I'm going to have him.
Yeah.
From that night, you with us.
Social services thought you were my aunt, but you weren't really. You were just there.
Yeah, I'm not your aunt, but you got my brother's name.
Yeah.
And your child. You need someone to protect you.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Even myself, I remember this.
And if I tell you the truth, this is not your fault. This name is gift. Allah gives to you, and they bring you here with that name, and you went up and up and up and up and up. But still, it's good to have your real name.
Yeah. Another thing is always like, I don't know, in my mind, I think about it. What happened to that other Mohammed Farah? Has he ever been to the UK before, Mohammed?
Never. He didn't come at all.
Do you keep in touch? Do you know where it is? How he's doing?
We lost contact. Then I found his Facebook.
Yeah.
Then we spoke several times. He gave us his WhatsApp number.
Yeah.
If you want, we call him now.
Okay.
And you talk to him. Is it a surprise or no?
Well, it's a surprise.
That's the surprise I have for you.
just emotional because you lived for so long with this and you don't know what happened to him.
He's waiting for us now.
Okay. That's a good surprise.
Yeah. Addo. Assalamu alaikum. في عنتا هاي كان اسبرتا وايد كان اسبرتا
محمد
والله ما شكتك
وانا بدأ يسكورن.
Oh, I can't believe I'm speaking to you. I carry your name, and for many years I carry that with me, and I'm proud of what I have achieved. But as a person, I always wonder, where's Mohammed? Where is he okay? What would life been like for him? I think about it all the time, and in person I just wanted to get in touch and to see how you're doing. Are you happy? Do you have family? You have kids? You married?
No, not yet.
Okay. It's hard to say everything, but
Yeah, I can see. It's okay, just talk. It's okay.
have you ever seen me run?
I saw you only on television.
Okay. Are you any good at running or?
Me? No.
Are you a football fan?
Arsenal fan, Arsenal.
We're okay then. We're okay. Are you allowed to travel to the UK?
Am I allowed?
Yes.
I don't think so. I would love to come to UK.
I would personally like to meet you. I will try my best to make that happen.
Inshallah.
I just want to say one thing to you. Thank you so much. I use your name. I came here as a child, and I just want to say thank you. And it's been hard, difficult.
It's okay.
You're still my brother.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's see.
Okay, bye-bye walaalo waan ku sugayaa. Call me adigu numberka.
You will bye. Take a look after yourself and thank you.
And I mean it. I mean it.
Don't even know what to say. It felt amazing. It felt like relief. I didn't get the answer that I was looking for. Why was I brought over here? I still don't know. But most importantly for me today, the answer I got, that relief from Mohammed saying, "You're still my brother." And for me, couldn't ask for a better thing. I feel like something has been lifted off of my shoulders. But that's just me. I don't know how everyone's going to see it.
Are you worried about what people will think?
People who love me and cares, like my mom, Kinsey, told me it's okay to say my real name. I'm starting to understand me. Me. Not Mohammed Farah. Me. Hussein Abdi Kahin.
Yeah, that was it, man. Hope you guys kind of enjoyed, and yeah, we kind of looked at it from different angles and different perspectives, but some mad comments here. One guy said, "I lost respect for you, Khalid, man." Like, why I'm Hanus, man? I know I just played the video documentary. That was about it. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And yeah, man, look, at the end of the day, we're just here to just look at the story, and a lot of people are just kind of angry of the ramifications. For me, I don't know, because I haven't been put in a scenario like that, and I don't want to see no brother or sister ever go through that in our lives. But then again, I feel like some of the outrage that some of the brothers and sisters are showing, like he's like, I don't even want to put up some of these comments on the chat as well, and that some of these comments are a bit vulgar. But hey, look, at the end of the day, that's the brother's story. He told us his best abilities. All we could do is just look at things and observe from a non-biased stance. Like, things do happen, and yeah, all of it. Anyone that been through these type of stories, get in contact with us, please, through either Instagram, Facebook, within some of your YouTube channels. Like, get through. Mainly, if you DM us, we could bring out stories and highlight stories that are happening to the people, but. At the same time, and some things do have a silver lining, man. Mashallah, the guy's like, double Olympic champion. So, 4 times he's won the medal. So, at the same time, he is Britain's greatest athlete. So, big up to him as well. And some of the stories were touching and moving. Especially, I just love the bit, when we reconnected with Hoidis. That was kind of amazing. But again, the brothers and sisters, share, like, and subscribe. Hit us up. Every Sunday, we're going to be back again. Hopefully, this Sunday, we're going to be covering a different type of story. So, tune in.